Hello. So I'm back. My name is Michelle. I'm 49. I'm a part-time teacher. I have this wonderful doggy who loves to be on camera. And I did a video 5 months ago saying that I was done with YouTube because I really just didn't feel like this was very natural for me, and it still isn't. But I also have been playing around with Velocity Banking some more, and I want to get on here and try like this new version because I think it might work for me. And so if you know anything about Velocity Banking, it's the principle of kind of looking at credit in a different way and using it as a way to kind of pay off other credit. So it's definitely an interesting thing. So what is he doing? Oh, okay. So I discovered Christy Van probably about 5 or 6 months ago, who's amazing with explaining it. I'll definitely link one of her videos below. Then I discovered, well, actually after her, I discovered Denzel Rodriguez. He's a little bit more complicated to understand, but I mean, you can make sense of it. Well, in the last 2 weeks, I discovered, I think the lady's name is Molly. And I think the name of her channel is like Ask Me How I Budget, or it's something like that, but I'll link it below. So anyway, my last Velocity Banking warning, what happened was I was trying to do Velocity Banking with credit cards. Due to my credit being super low, I was a full-time teacher for 20 years. I went part-time 3 years ago, and I've had some financial highs and lows over that time because I also have rental property. Happy to say my house is semi-rented. I decided to switch from whole house rental to room rentals, just because right now I only have one property, and then that way I don't have to go through what I just went through, which is a house sitting empty for 8 months, even though I had to get repairs and stuff. So it was just stressful. But fast forward to now. So when I was getting repairs done, I was trying to do Velocity Banking, and so I was using a Fidelity card. So like I would run it up to the max, which was like $2,000, then I'd pay it off, then I'd run it back up. Well, I did it once, and then when I tried to do it a second time, when that $2,000 payment hit, they lowered my credit limit to $500. And I was just so frustrated and just overwhelmed and thought, what am I going to do? So now that I've had about 5 months to kind of play around with this, I have some people in the house now. At least I know I'll be getting a little bit more income. I just feel like I have a better handle on my finances. Now, my credit score is still super low. It was like in the 420s, 430s. I think I'm in the 550s as of today. But I wanted to share with you my plan with Velocity Banking. I don't have access to a line of credit or like a HELOC, so I'm going to be using credit cards. Now, as of right now, I have 5 credit cards in good standing. 2 of those do not have a balance, so I'm super happy about that. But for the 3 that do have a balance, I'm going to try to use Velocity Banking to try to free up some cash flow so that I can pay these off a little faster. So if you see me looking down, it's because there's my notebook. So my first one is American Express, and that balance is about $8,200. Now, so far, American Express has been very kind to me. Thank you, American Express. They've not played around with my limits. So, you know, I've made payments. They haven't dropped my limit at all. Hopefully that will continue to happen. Next is Barclay Old Navy. Now, they're not quite as nice. My current balance is $3,859, so you may as well say $3,860. When I made the last payment, they did drop my credit down, my credit limit, by I think like $400 or $500. So they're not quite playing as nicely. And then Total Rewards, which is Caesar's card, my balance with them right now is $6,660. I was on like a payment plan with them, and then I came off, but they never opened my limit up again. So I don't even have any available credit with them. So American Express, the monthly payment is $231. Old Navy, the payment is about $145. And then Total Rewards is about $207. So after watching Molly's video, she introduced some new terminology that I wasn't familiar with, starting with, she calls it bill matching. And I was like, I get it. So the idea is that you're matching your bills to meet the minimum payments on your credit cards. Now, because I know the credit card industry can be very tricky and I do not want what happened to me last time to happen to this time, I have to kind of do this a little differently. And so normally when you're doing velocity banking, especially with credit cards, they kind of suggest that you make the payment first, then you pay the stuff on it. But I'm not going to do that, because if I make the payment first and they drop it, then I don't have the money to pay it in cash. Plus, I don't have the room on the card. I'm not going to play that game. So what I'm going to do is pay the bills first, then make the payment. That way, if they do drop the limit, at least for that month, I'm not screwed because I've already paid my bills for that month. So what I'm going to do is the order that I'm going to pay these cards off, I really want to pay that Old Navy one off first. I just really do. And the real reason why is because I don't even know why I have an Old Navy card, and I know I'm not going to use it again, and it has the lowest balance. So I'm just like, let's roll with that one. Even though I was tempted to focus on the Total Rewards one because the payment is a little bit higher because it's $207. I don't have available credit on there anyway. So as of right now, though, I'm going to try to do the Old Navy. But if I find that, you know, the way this is working in my head doesn't actually work in reality, then I'll switch and make Total Rewards the one I'm trying to pay off. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is all three of these have payments due at the end of the month. So what I'm planning to do is to cover my American Express one, which is like $231. I'm going to put my car insurance on there. My car insurance is high. It's like $4 something. Not because I'm not a great driver, because I actually am, but I have an electric car, and that just makes the pay just, you know, it just makes the insurance higher because, of course, if something goes wrong, it's all electrical. And so then what I'm going to do is to cover my Old Navy, which is like 145-ish. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do like my utilities on there, because I'm looking at my utilities and I'm thinking between my gas and my electric bill and maybe like insurance, I should be able to get it up to that payment. And so what I'm hoping to then do is that then when I free up that cash flow, I would be able to pay the $207 and hopefully have an extra 100 somewhere from freeing that money up to put on Old Navy. So that's the plan. So that's going to be the quick recap. So American Express, I'm not doing anything with that other than putting my car payment, not my car payment, putting my car insurance on there. And then that's going to cover that payment. And I may just throw in like extra $25, make me feel like I'm paying a little something on that. So that it's not just staying at, maybe it'll go down a wee little, or at least maybe the interest won't be quite as much. Then what I'm going to do is to cover the Old Navy payments, I'm going to pay my utilities through Old Navy. And so what I'll do is I'll pay the utilities first, then make the payment. So that way, if Old Navy gets a little tricky and drops my limit, my utilities are low enough that it's not going to like completely mess me up anyway. Because if Old Navy drops my, you know, payment or drops my credit limit by like 200, right now I have about 300 available anyway, so I still should be able to pull this off, but we'll see. And then the idea is that with that money that I'm used to paying anyway, I'll be able to put on Total Rewards, which is $207, and then hopefully I'll have an extra 100 that I can then put on Old Navy. So that is the plan. I will check back in with you all in like, I would say the end of the month. I'll check back in with you all at the end of the month. It's December 2023. And I'll check back with you, let you see if my plan worked or if I'm on here telling another sob story that some stuff went to the left that I was not anticipating. Hopefully, though, I'll be back on with a great story telling you it worked. So until later, as always, be grateful and thank you so much for watching. I hope you come along on this journey with me and I hope it turns out okay. All right, until later. Bye-bye.